Welcome to episode 1 of the Tuscarawas County Anti-Drug Coalition podcast. Today, joining me are 3 very special guests, Tammy Thacker, Hannah Yoder, and Diana Smith of Ohio Guidestone. They're from the prevention department, and we're just going to learn a little bit more about who they are and what they normally do. And then we're going to get into discussion about what's going on during this COVID-19 crisis and get a better understanding of some of the work they're doing in the community and why they're doing it. So let me just start off with Tammy Thacker. Would you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do?
Sure. Good morning. My name is Tammy Thacker. I'm actually from New Philadelphia, and I'm a prevention educator with a program called Taking It to the Schools. I've actually had the pleasure of being a part of it for close to 14 years now. Taking It to the Schools has actually been around almost 20 years, and we go in every school in Tuscarawas and Carroll County. We're actually in 8 school districts and 19 schools in Tusc County. And just to tell you a little bit about the program, we follow the Boffin's Life Skills curriculum. It's an evidence-based program. So we do talk about prevention, alcohol, tobacco, and drug prevention, but we also do life skills, just daily life skills. We start in 4th grade, go all the way up through 8th grade in a lot of our schools. We talk about self-esteem, communication, decision-making. We do talk about tobacco and vaping and addiction. And I think that I believe right now there's 6 of us to do it. And the reason why we do it, because we have a passion for our young people.
Nice.
And it's a great program. I'm really privileged to be a part of it.
Very, very cool. Thank you. Hannah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, my name is Hannah. I live here in Dover, and I coordinate the program Tuscarawas County Youth to Youth in the county. It is based on Youth to Youth International, which is in Columbus, Ohio. It was founded in 1982, and really our goal with this program is to develop the kids with the knowledge, skills, and attitudes to abstain from alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. We also put great emphasis on mental health, and we are in 6 schools in the county.
Nice.
We also have something that's called a youth advisory board. So at each of those schools, we always have those shining stars. They're all on our youth advisory board. We meet once a month, and those students tackle those larger community-wide projects and initiatives. And that is also a satellite of the Tuscarawas County Anti-Drug Coalition. So again, it really is about youth empowerment, developing those youth. And we think that that's especially important right now with what's going on in the world.
Neat. Now, ladies, I know you clearly work with kids, and I do know you both personally. I know you're passionate about the work you do. What kind of difference do you think your programs make in the lives of our young people here in the county?
Well, I think for a lot of kids, it gives us the opportunity, or gives them the opportunity to have someone to talk to. We go into many of our students, they need a safe person. Okay. So they just, they need that person to come and talk to. And then, a lot of times we'll find different resources if they need, we work real closely with their guidance counselors at schools. And, it's just being there for them.
Nice.
I think that's the difference.
Nice.
I definitely see that Youth to Youth provides a support system for our teens in this county. And it also gives them, something fun to look forward to. A lot of our communities here are very rural, and sometimes, especially in the winter, there just isn't a whole lot for kids to do. And they just struggle, with mental health issues, just like adults do, but with a lot of the pressures that they face, like sports, standardized testing, schools, they don't always have, a trusted adult to speak with, or just a fun environment to kind of let go and make some good friends. So I think that that's really just a critical place for them, a very important place for them to just be themselves, make some friends, and have some fun. And also, those prevention strategies, learning, the educational piece. We also use evidence-based practices to teach our youth all about, the effects of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. But a large portion of our programming is focused on that fun and that support system.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I'm going to turn now to Diana Smith. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Good morning. My name's Diane Smith. I live in Yerkesville, and I'm a member of the Tuscarawas County Anti-Drug Coalition, and I am also a facilitator for the Taking It to the Schools. Some of the stuff that I do is, for the coalition, I'm called the go-to person in the coalition. I am involved in every committee
This is true.
the coalition has. And what I do is I just make sure that what needs done gets done with the coalition the best that I can. And I go into 2 area schools and I do the Taking It to the Schools program, just like Tammy said. And I'm really passionate about my community. Like I said, I'm from Uricksville. I love the town. I'm very involved in the town. And I just want to see what's best for the kids and help the kids to the best of my ability.
Well, I'm going to interject in there. I think you were just nominated or awarded the Community Contribution Award from the Twin City Chamber earlier this week. So I just want to say congratulations on that. And I think that really is an accolade to the commitment you have for the Twin City areas. I have the privilege of working with Diane, and her heart for young people and for the community is just, off the charts. So again, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah. So coalition, what is that about for you?
The coalition's really neat. We do have different subcommittees, and the main objective with the coalition is to protect our youth. It's so neat to see how different people, not only professionals, but community leaders can all come together for the same purpose. We do look out for what is best practices, how we can not only educate the public on what to look for as far as the kids go, but how we can help the kids. Every year at the fair, we have 2 separate booths. We have what we call our informational booth underneath the grandstand. And then we're also collecting data where we have a separate booth for not just our youth, but our adults to fill out and win some really neat prizes. It just keeps us in mind of what the youth are thinking and where we need to go with our education.
Kind of cool. Very fun. So y'all make a difference in our community with our young people, in particular on that substance use, mental health area, that prevention vein. But I will tell you, I know from just going through this COVID crisis right now, our world has changed drastically. And I'm speaking out loud into our audience. I think we've all just noticed, wow, our world has changed in a matter of a couple weeks. So I'm going to ask y'all, what has changed in the work you do right now? What are you all doing? Why are you doing it? And I'm asking that because I'm privy to some of the neat work y'all are doing in the community. I just kind of want you to guys share that out and why it's making a difference. So let me start with Tammy. What are some things that you're doing?
Well, we are doing happy grams. So we are frantically cutting and printing out copies of a little business card, happy grams. And we're putting, actually, their little business card size, everything's positive. And we're putting those out with the schools are passing out lunches. So we're making sure that they get those in there and putting those in the lunches. Every week we've been doing over 2,000 happy grams. So I have to go deliver some today. But on there, like one week was joke of the day. Second week was different little motivational quotes saying, you're awesome. This week is put your positive pants on. So then, every week we're doing something different. I think here we're going to start next week and start and do some coloring sheets and different feelings, tic-tac-toe. So we want everything to be positive and upbeat, just to let the kids know that, we're taking to the schools. We're still thinking about them. We're looking forward to seeing them in the fall.
So Tammy, why positive notes? Why do you think that's important to our young people right now?
Because I don't think we hear enough things that are positive.
Okay.
All year long. So I think that's real important. And I think especially during this time, we're having a lot of students that are dealing with fear, anxiety, some self-esteem issues. I think sometimes, because even when parents in the home and they're feeling that fear and anxiety, and they're hearing this on everything they see.
Sure.
It's kind of a little bit of a downer, so we want to hear more positive things and to know that, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Nice. Very good. Hannah, what are y'all doing right now?
First, I just want to agree that this crisis, or pandemic rather, has really turned everyone's worlds upside down. Just in the office the other day, we were talking about how, there is a grieving process that comes along with this pandemic, because we all had ideas for how the next couple of months were going to go. We all had birthday parties, we had events, we had plans, and now all of those things, aren't turning out the way that we expected, but especially for our young people. I work with teens. A lot of them we're just about to reach those coming of age milestones
Sure.
that all of us look forward to and all of us get to experience. There's prom, graduation parties, even the graduation ceremonies, are now being canceled or postponed. And I think that there's a grieving process that comes with that with our teens. They were looking forward to those things. So again, we just tried to, really hone in on being that positive voice in the community. And in Youth to Youth, we use that idea to come up with some ways and brainstorm some methods to kind of help our kids cope with that process of, loss with all those things that they were looking forward to. So the first initiative that we started planning has to do with TikTok. So I'm sure most people are familiar with that by now. It actually reminds me of Vine when I was a senior in high school.
Okay, Hannah, I'm just going to throw out there, the older people listening might not know what TikTok is.
Well, it is a social media platform. It is similar to Vine, kind of similar to Instagram, if you're familiar with that, but it's more focused on videos, and they're all kind of really short clips, and they're frankly hilarious. I think that this group of young people has been through so much, and they all have just a really funny and sometimes dark sense of humor, but they have a good way of making light of bad situations, including this one. But with our TikTok project, we focused on having them send us little clips, little videos of what they have going on at home, the little fun activities that they're doing, whether it's making snacks, dancing in particular is one that we're really having them try to film, even with their families. Jodi, I'm looking at you because you just put out one with your family.
Yeah.
How was that? Was it fun?
It was interesting. I gotta say, at 50, my dance moves are probably more entertaining to young people, but it was a very fun thing to do with our family, and my kids definitely shot those out to their peers. So
I thought your dance moves were pretty good. And people can check that out, by the way, on our Instagram page. Our username is y2y_Tusk. And our Facebook page is Tuscarawas County Youth to Youth. So go look at Jodi dancing.
Very fun. No, it was actually a fun way just to get our whole family in the living room and just laughing together, because there was quite a bit of laughing going on with that. Neat. So the TikTok has been one of those things. What else are y'all doing?
So the other project that we just launched is a snail mail project. So we have actually been hand delivering snail mail kits to teens all over the county. I mean, we've been to Beach City, New Comerstown, Strasburg, Dover, Philly, all over. And each of these kits comes with some fun materials. That way students can write their own snail mail letters and send them out in the community and kind of stay connected in a fun and safe way. So each kit comes with stamps, envelopes, colored paper, stickers, and then some goodies that we have, some candy, maybe a bag of chips.
I'm sure that's probably a new way of our young people corresponding with others, huh?
Well, this is a little embarrassing, but I had to touch up on how to address an envelope. I just don't do it. Like, I don't know. I'm not that young. I'm 24, but I just had to look that up. Sorry, guys, but I'm sure that they're all learning how to do that also. But I did receive a couple pictures of letters that students have sent out. We just really want them to communicate with, especially, at-risk people and their families that they might not be able to go visit, like their grandparents. I've encouraged them to reach out to small businesses that they're really thankful for, maybe when they go pick up their food, leave a thank you note. So I think that's a really just fun way for them to not feel quite as isolated, because there are, again, those negative effects of self-isolation and quarantine. I hear that they're feeling lonely. They miss their friends. They do want to go back to school as much as they joke that they're happy about being home. So we just want them to embrace as much positivity and connectivity as possible during this time.
I heard you talking about encouraging the kids to walk through their neighborhood and drop them off at doors. And I kind of heard you saying, get some exercise, get some fun. Have the kids been taking you up on that one too?
Yes. I mean, I think we all need sunlight right now. And finally, it's April. The sun is shining. Easter is right around the corner. And it is a great opportunity to get outside, walk with your dog, with your family. And if you have a letter to drop off at a neighbor's doorstep, I mean, that's another way to get some exercise and also to spread some much needed kindness right now.
Cool. Very fun. Now, I'm going to bring up another project I know y'all are doing. Y'all have been writing some articles and Facebook posts. What's that about? What's that called? What's that about?
The Facebook posts are called COVID Connections, a way for families to connect. And what we've been doing with the Facebook post is every day you will see a post that has a little brief like introduction or a letter that just tells, gives you an idea of what to do. And then you'll have 3 things attached to it. It might be games, it might be recipes, it could be how to talk to your kids, or it could just be an inspirational post. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get families to connect in a whole different way. This is new for everybody. It's something that no one's ever had to experience, at least in my lifetime. And I know that families are struggling on how to keep the kids busy and how to keep everything upbeat. So we want to do upbeat things. So every day you'll see a thing that says COVID Connections, a way for families to connect. Read the little blurb and then look at the activities. Yesterday, I posted a thing about technology on how, the kids are so used to technology compared to us older ones. I have to share a quick story. I had my grandkids and I was trying to help them with schoolwork and I had a meltdown because I could not figure out how to get on their technology for school. And it made me stop and think, and I'm the one in the office everyone comes to when they have an issue. And I couldn't do it. So if I was struggling, I had to stop and think about, okay, I'm teaching the kids how to deal with stress, take my own advice. Thanks to Jodi that sent me a message saying, do you need one of your inspirational posts? And it's just a trying time. So yesterday it was kind of a little blurb about technology and what the kids are used to. And then there was a fun activity that you could do. One of the activities was FaceTime. If you're FaceTiming your grandparents, because I love that. My grandkids FaceTime me every night. And it was, you could read their lips. Turn mute and read lips and see if you could figure out what they were trying to say. So just a different way to connect with the technology that we have and being in the lockdown that we're shut down that we're in. Let the kids utilize the technology. Call your parents and say, hey, we can do this. A lot of people don't realize that you can FaceTime through Facebook. And there's just so many different ways. And that's what we try to get out every day on Facebook.
Now, Hannah, I think you've been writing some articles that I've that are going out in the Times Reporter and Bargain Hunter and Outreacher and stuff. Tell us a little bit about those.
Well, again, our department just wanted to make as much of an impact as possible during this time. And we really had to turn, our department on its head to figure out how to do that. But when we initially met to ask ourselves, what exactly can we do? We again, really embraced being that positive voice in the community. And so we started a column called COVID Connections. Again, with the connections piece, the goal of it is to, help families not see this as only a pandemic or a crisis, but also as an opportunity.
Nice.
An opportunity to be together, to spend time together, to really connect in ways that we don't have the privilege to do with work, with extracurricular activities. It really focuses on parents. They're so busy. But right now, we get to slow down. I know It's kind of funny. I remember saying sometimes to my husband, I wish life had a pause button, but I think that
we got one.
Yes, be careful what you wish for. We have that now, but it is a great opportunity for families. And that's exactly what our COVID Connections articles focus on. So they're going out 3 times a week in the Times Reporter and all of the other newspapers and that she mentioned, the Outreacher, the Bargain Hunter, and every article has a different topic and a different tip to help families connect. For example, one of them was written about family dinners, and it included, some little research, facts about family dinners, how they're proven to really help families connect at the end of the day, check in with how you're doing, check in with your mental health, get to know each other better. And then at the end of each article, we include a physical activity, a little fun conversation starter. That can be something, serious, like how are you doing, missing school right now? Do you miss your friends? How are you coping with that? Right. But it could be something fun, like if you could fly or be invisible, which superpower would you choose? So we always have one of those. We also include a craft, a game, little things, a recipe, things that parents can look at right away and decide, okay, that's something fun that we can do today. That's something that I can use to fill this time and connect with my kids.
Nice. Tammy, what do you have to say about just this time for family connection?
Well, I think where I live, in the community I live, I've seen people probably just kind of come together a little bit more.
Nice.
And even though not physically, coming together, but they're just waving more. They're doing more things with their family. Diana and I were talking about this the other day. They have something new. They're actually doing this in my area, and I think they're doing it in her area too, where they're painting the windows. With Easter coming up, they're painting, different crosses and different religious things on the windows. And then in one of the areas back where I live, they're actually painting bears on the windows.
Bears? Why bears?
When the weather gets warm, the kids are going on a bear hunt.
That's cute.
So, that you just see things, but I think people are becoming more and more creative also.
Nice.
Even us, we're putting out there things called Take a Break, where it's like a little take a break, if the kid's trying to being cooped up in the house all day long, you just take a break, take a few minutes and go play Simon Says, or go do musical chairs in the house, just something kind of fun so the kids can just take a moment and just relax.
So I'll tell you what, I'm a preventionist. Y'all are a preventionist. What I know the heartbeat of the work y'all are doing is to help families connect. Why is that important? Not only at COVID Connection, but in your role as substance use prevention out in the community. Why is this such a heartbeat for y'all? And why is it important? And why is it worth talking about?
I'll start with that one. I noticed going into the schools and working out in the communities that our lives are so busy. We forget that we have young kids and they just want to hear us. They want to hear us talk. And we hear so much in the schools that, I can't talk to mom and dad because by the time they get home from work, they're fixing supper, they're doing this. Or we hear them say, well, I don't have a safe person to go to. And even out in the community, when we're doing stuff or when we're talking to the kids, they're like, my mom and dad says, don't do this, but they don't tell us why. And our kids want to hear that. They want to hear that why this is why we don't want you to do this. And right now is the great time to stop and take a step back and just connect with your kids. Have that talking relationship with them. They know you love them. They know you care, but tell them why you care. Tell them why you love them. And it will make a difference. These kids know. These kids mimic everything that adults do. And if you say and you do something one way, but then you tell your kids, well, I don't want you to do that, you're giving them a different signal. So it's very important that you have that connection with your kid. And the younger you talk to your kids, the easier it's going to be for your kids to talk to you the older they get.
Nice. Hannah, what do you think?
Well, I'm coming from the perspective of working with teens, and I'm thinking about how, you ask a teen how their day at school was. What do they usually say?
Good.
Fine. Yeah. It's hard to really get them talking. And I remember doing that to my own mom, but we know that parents who talk to their kids about substance use, the kids are 50% less likely to use if that happens.
Stat, a true stat, but a crazy one, huh?
It is. And it's such a groundbreaking protective factor for teens to have a good relationship with their parents and to feel connected in their home.
Nice.
And it is difficult to get teens to talk. But right now, again, we have a unique and unprecedented opportunity to really connect with our families, to talk with each other. And that protective factor, it is really like a shield around your child, around your teen. So I guess I just want to encourage families again to take this time. Think of it as an opportunity, embrace that positivity to really talk to your teen and get them talking. Hopefully one day, maybe you'll ask them how their day was and they'll tell you more than just good. That's the goal. And then you'll be able to move on to those more serious topics like substance use, like mental health. And I think that'll make all the difference. And that's why I think this time is especially important to embrace the extra time that parents have at home with their kids and their teens.
As a mom, my kids are out of high school at this point, but there are times where I look at this situation and feel, man, I think I would have enjoyed that with the kids in the house. And I have great relationships with my kids, but when we're talking about how do we have our kids connect with us and have those conversations, that only comes in time and it only comes in those fun moments. And I think in the business of the world, my kids played sports. It's really hard to get even dinner time because practice and everything else going on. So one of the things I've seen y'all do is, and I'm looking at Tammy in particular and Diane, a lot of those conversation starters, they're fun. You know what I mean? Because I think we get in those routines. And Hannah, you just brought that up. How was school? Fine. Good. We're all busy. We're going in our direction. And I think those conversation starters, to use them like at dinner time, now that we're all eating dinner together, just to build those fun relationships. So go ahead, Tammy.
The one thing I was thinking about the other day, I was talking with someone about this, was families.
Mm-hmm.
Because our families are different nowadays. It's not like how I was when I grew up. Ozzie and Harriet, just mom and dad.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Thanks.
We are friends.
But our families are so different. It's like, I kind of use this when I'm talking to the students. It's like a bicycle, different parts of a bicycle. You put all those parts together, you still have a bicycle. But our families are different. Not necessarily just mom and dad. It could be stepmom, stepdad, be grandma and grandpa. And, and that plays a big difference in our students' lives.
Sure.
So this opportunity is really kind of a time for all those people to come together.
Nice.
And you kind of wonder what the outcome is going to be on that. This could be a really positive thing, of people who are, instead of going here, this person not talking to this person, it's kind of forced them to kind of be put together.
Okay. Very neat. This is just fun conversation for me. I hope y'all are enjoying that. Let me ask you a question, because we're kind of running out of time here. In the midst of all this going on, what would be just a tip or something you'd want parents to take away through this time? Maybe a warning, beware of, or a encouragement, embrace this, whatever that might be.
Turn off the TV.
Okay.
Turn off the TV. Get the kids away from the gaming and just kind of do something fun, because unfortunately, and even I've even done it in my own house, and I have a 23-year-old daughter. I've just, it's just every day, all day long, news. And it's, it's not very positive to me.
Yeah.
So turn it all off, go watch a Disney movie, go do something fun.
Okay. Very good. Diane.
Oh, okay. I want to touch on, because everybody is at home, it is start getting nice. A lot of people are starting their spring cleaning. And I really want to touch and make people just stop and think, when you're doing your spring cleaning, don't forget your medicine cabinet.
Okay. She's a true preventionist.
Get in your medicine cabinet, look and see what you got. A lot of addiction starts in our own home.
Okay.
And just keep in mind that the Anti-Drug Coalition, we do have permanent drop-off box locations. And with our stay-at-home order, it is kind of hard to get out there and dispose of them. But what we do have, and we're fortunate here in Tuscarawas County, is that we have what we call our deterra bags. And what the deterra bags are their drug deactivation bags. We have different sizes. They take liquids. They take used patches. People that have the pain patch, the fentanyl patches, and when they take them off, they think, the fentanyl's completely gone off of them. I can just fold them up and throw them in my trash can. That is not correct. There is still a trace of fentanyl on them patches. These drug deactivation bags, you can put those patches down in the bag. Like I said, they take liquid, they take the patches, and they take pills. Very, very easy, very simple to use. All you do is you take the top off of the bag, you put your medication in it, you fill it up with water. You wait 30 to 60 seconds, you'll start hearing a crackling sound. I always refer to the Pop Rocks candy. Mm-hmm. Once you start hearing that, you seal it. You give it 2 or 3 shakes. You throw it in your trash can. It is totally environmentally, I can't say that word. It is safe for the environment. We'll put it that way.
There you go.
And we do have these. They are located in different places all around Tuscarawas County. But since we are at the stay-at-home order, if you call our office, which is 330-440-7320, or you can even email Jodi Salvo at jsalvo@pfcs1.org. And leave your name and address and a phone number if you want us to call us back. We will mail you out drug deactivation bags. Like I said, right now with everybody being at home, depression's going to kick in. Kids are going to get curious. Do your part and clean out your medicine cabinet and dispose of the stuff properly. Please don't flush them down the commode. If you flush them down the commode, we are seeing traces of it in the water, and we do not want that. This is something that is free to the public. please reach out to us and let us mail you out. It's very, very easy, very simple. You can also go on the Tuscarawas County anti-drug webpage at tuskadc.org, and you can actually watch a video on how the disposal bags work.
Nice. You're promoting some ways to take care of our community and our families. Hannah?
I'm going to rewind back to a little bit of what Tammy was talking about, but again, just to say that we've all wished for a pause button on life, and we got one. Yeah. So I just want, families and parents to embrace that pause button and just let go. Let go of what your house looks like. Don't worry if you've been wearing the same sweatpants for 3 days.
I'm so glad you said that. Should I worry?
Yeah, maybe I'm talking to myself. Eat the microwave chicken nuggets. Like you'll see, people online all over the place. Use this time to.
I'm just saying there might be more of me to love in a couple more weeks.
That's so funny. It's so true. But like all over, it's just saturated online. People exercising during this time, learning new skills, picking up new things. And it's okay if you're doing that. Like that's amazing. But it's also okay if you're not. If you need that time to relax, to let go. Again,
be kind to yourself, huh?
Yes, be kind to yourself. You're not having as many visitors as you usually are. Just don't worry so much about the things that are always stressing you out. We have this pause button, and I think that it is a blessing, and we should embrace it and use this time to just not worry so much.
Give me permission not to clean my house?
No. We can joke about clean houses, but in the end, the kids aren't going to remember the clean house as much as they're going to remember the memories.
Absolutely.
I've got 4 kids. I've got 9 grandkids, and they all talk about memories more than they talk about, mom's house was clean. They'll talk about how they got in trouble when they messed mom's house up, but they talk more about the memories.
That's so true.
So remember, the kids, yes, they want a clean house. Yes, they need a clean house, but the memories is what they're going to remember.
Get out your old pictures and go through them. That's what we did the other night.
That's a fun one.
That's a good idea. I should have. That's a good article.
That is a fun one. And you know what? I've been reflecting on this, Diane, what you just brought up about those memories. And this will be like no other disaster. Everybody remembers what and when you were doing when something happened. And we will all grow old one day and remember this COVID-19 crisis.
We talked about that the other day.
Yeah.
For some of us, we're fortunate enough we weren't in kindergarten or first grade when 9/11 hit.
That's right.
So,
hey.
well, we have that experience and we learned from it, and we're blessed that we can share that experience in a positive way to the younger generation so they don't have to experience a lot of the trauma that we did.
And you know what? When we look back on this, we'll remember it one of 2 ways. We'll remember this as a scary, awful time, or we'll remember this as one of amazing connections. And I think especially for our young people, for parents to just be very intentional because our kids read off of us. So even if we are struggling a little bit, anxiety, we're all maybe experiencing some depression, some of that loss that you talked about, Hannah. Our kids are still reading off of us. So I think it's important we find some coping mechanisms ourselves, reach out and connect to our friends, our support network. But as much as possible, utilizing these conversation starters, these tips, these ideas, those creative things that are all over Facebook, to really help our kids walk away from this thinking, man, that was just fun. We just did some crazy stuff with our family. And I do, again, and I've heard this from all 3 of you, there's an opportunity here, certainly some concern for our nation and our world, and our hearts go out for our first responders and families that are losing people, or families or persons that are struggling for their lives. So in the midst of that heartache, I do think, just being cognizant of, what are those positives that are going to come through this situation, because this is a life-changing, world-changing situation.
And, now's the time to really be alert. Look out for your neighbor. Mm-hmm. Look out for the elderly. Not everybody has that ideal family. So look out for that kid next door. maybe their family isn't the ideal family. Nobody knows what happens behind closed doors, but with it being nice out and you see that kid that looks down and out, reach out.
Nice.
Let that kid know that, hey, I'm a safe person. Hey, do you need anything? Maybe the family next door, they're struggling to get something and the parents
Toilet paper?
Yeah.
No.
the parents, are too proud to ask for help because they've never had to ask for help. Don't judge. Now's not the time to be judgmental. Now's the time to love. Now's the time to care. And now's the time to reach out.
Nice.
So reach out to your neighbor, reach out to that neighborhood kid. You might have someone living next door to you that you've never said hi to them. You don't have to go up and give them a hug, which you're not allowed right now, but you can wave and you can say, hey, is there anything you need? Just embrace the moment and let kids especially know that they're not alone in this.
Nice. Very good. Well, I think that's probably a wrap for right now. So I'll tell you what, I want to just thank you ladies for coming today. It has been wonderful for me, eye-opening. So I want to thank you for coming, Tammy Thacker, Diana Smith, and Hannah Yoder from Ohio Guidestone. I hope all you listeners out there were able to gain some valuable takeaways from today's podcast. I hope y'all were challenged, as I was, to become even more intentional in connecting with our families during this COVID-19 situation. Let's remember we've all been gifted with some time to spend with our families, and I want you to just think about that a little bit. Join us again next week. You won't want to miss hearing from Michaela Madison. She's a gifted journalist, a passionate contributor and community leader in Tuscarawas County. And she's the founder of Newsy Mom, and she will further our discussions about how parents and families can best navigate through COVID-19.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Anti-Drug Coalition podcast, a member of the Get Level Podcast Network. For more information, visit getlevelpod.com or find us on Facebook. Download our podcast shows on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure you stay tuned for more great shows that are coming soon.